Yo, Poke26 here, and I wanted to do one more quick tier list. This one I'm going to do really quick in that I'm just going to place some units. I'm not even going to place all the units, and it's going to be for 2v2 to the best of my knowledge. I haven't played a ton of 2v2, but I did play a decent amount. And yeah, it's just going to be that. So, first of all, in 2v2, the biggest things I would say are Sniper, which gets moved to S tier, and where is it? The Mortar. Mortar is also S tier. These things, like Mortar, is just obviously way too good with big splash, big range. Obviously huge in 2v2 to have that. And then Sniper, because it counters Mortar. So you will almost always see these in 2v2 lineups generally. That being said, from my personal experience, I do think heavy air lineups can also be good. If you have a team that even just both goes air, if you have like maybe Mammoth and Advanced Recaller, like I want to say Mammoth and then Advanced Recall, like an A. If your team both goes Starforge with like these, or maybe one player plays Dragonfly or something, right, or Butterfly or whatever, and then you go tier 3 right away too, I think going something like Cat Bus and Valkyrie can also be pretty strong. Because now they have to fight you with tier 1 anti-air if they don't have something like Heavy Hunter from Foundry. And yeah, I think overwhelming them with air, being able to have a bunch of a player massing Cat Bus and maybe a few Dragonflies or whatever take out their tier 1 anti-air. I think you can actually overwhelm people with air in twos. Particularly if your opponents aren't that good as well, they'll definitely just get caught off guard by Dragonfly run bys. They might not be coordinated enough to know which player should be making the anti-air. They might make too much, too little. I think there's definitely a lot of viability to some sort of air lineup in twos. That being said, generally Mortar and Sniper is more of the go-to from what I've seen so far. Not really my playstyle. I don't really like using either of these. I haven't used Mortars at all. I didn't really like Snipers, but yeah. Destroyers probably should also be S tier because any sort of frontline tanker you want to be able to just wipe out to protect the mortars for one, but two, because generally in a twos lineup, one of them is going to have something like Crusader or King Crab or Mammoth or whatever, and yeah, if you have destroyers, those units are just gone now. So, yeah. Other tier 3 units like Behemoth, Heavy Ballista, I think are also pretty good for sure. Just more ground presence. And Predator, if you are going to go Foundry route with like mortar, snipers, etc., destroyers, if one of your teammates has Predator, this can also be pretty good because if you are facing mass air, you can get rid of things like the Dragonfly, the Butterfly, the Locust here, Butterfly, Dragonfly, Valkyrie even. I'm not sure how good Predator does against something like Cat Bus though, because Cat Bus is a bit tanky, and I think Predator is meant to be more against mass rather than single target like Cat Bus. But I think it's viable to some extent at least. Advanced Blink. Yeah, so if you are facing air, you might need something like Advanced Blink as well. Definitely you want, like if you're running Mortar, Sniper, and Destroyer, you probably want one of your players at least to have, something like Advanced Blink so you can actually still deal with air. Because like I said, the air armies can also overwhelm in twos if your opponent is not prepared enough for air in particular. What other units do I want to cover? Oof. I think that's mostly it. Maybe some of the tier 1s. Blink Hunters, still really good. If you need to take out air, and then like Blink in general and Recallers are really good. Where's the normal Blinks? Anyways, and I would say, where is it? It's hard to find something. Scorpions. I think Scorpions are still okay. They can definitely overwhelm. They can definitely sneak by and do worker harass line, worker harass, gunbots, top tier. Where is the Blink? Am I blind? I think Wasps are a lot less valuable in twos because they'll just kind of get wiped out against the massive units. Yeah. Oh, here's the Blink. I think Blink is really good. Yeah, like the range tier 1s are good. Scorpions are alright still, just because they're alright. They can definitely do some run bys and stuff in the early game. Or like surround so that your opponent with range can take stuff out. I think it's okay. Yeah, that's about it. Raider, honestly, I think this is bad because you don't really want to take up a unit slot with it. But because worker lines are like 2 bases in the same spot, if you actually sneak in a Raider and you wipe out a worker line, you're wiping out both opponents' base somewhere, which is huge. And this can obviously do it really quick because it's very good at just taking out workers. So I haven't really seen it in twos very much, but when I have, and it got to the worker line, it actually looked kind of strong. That being said, generally with 2 people, you should be able to cover that from happening to begin with. So, Anyways, need butterflies somewhere here or 2. I don't know. That's about it. The rest, I'm not sure. They're kind of interchangeable. They're all like either just bad or like can be used, but maybe not so good. If the game ends up stale, or both sides kind of camp a lot, maybe things like turrets get some viability because I believe they're like 0 food. You can actually make them in your 200 food army. Yeah. Yeah, you can still just play some of your normal units if you're used to Shockers or King Crabs or Crusaders or whatever. But yeah, I think these are like the key things to discuss. I'm not sure if I placed them all in the correct spots, but I just kind of like, did a quick adjustment. Obviously, like I said, Mortar, Sniper, definitely the flavor of the month so far for twos from what I've seen. Mortar countering pretty much everything, and then Sniper countering mortars. So, yeah. That's about it. Game is fun. Twos was also quite a bit of fun, but I do wonder if the higher MMR you get, maybe the more stale the gameplay becomes in twos because people will just have these sort of meta lineups that are not as necessarily fun to play against because mortars are not very fun to play against. It's very stale gameplay. But yeah, see how it goes. I definitely still had fun with it while I was playing it. I did try some like air lineups, like I said, and they seemed pretty fun. Yeah, it's good. Let me know what you think about twos lineups, what you would change, if there's any other notable units that I should have mentioned. But these are the ones that stood out to me. I mean, turrets didn't really stand out to me, but they they did sound interesting at least. Some of these, like I said, like Raiders, didn't really stand out to me, but they do have a good niche. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Check out my 1v1 tier list video as well if you want to see that. And check out the game when it goes full release at some point in the future.